Greetings again from Act Now. This is number 2 because somebody knocked at my door. I wanted to continue with all one video here, but I had to break it off, so here we're going to pick back up. Oh, and by the way, I got to my back door where somebody knocked just 20 feet from me or 15 feet from where I'm currently sitting. Nobody was there. So anyway, we had to break this into 2 videos. And by the way, that one, that was, what, 44 minutes long? So that was long enough anyway. Alright, so this is number 2. Where was I? I should have gone and listened to the end of that one so that I knew exactly where to pick up. Oh, dirty, foul. Yeah, it's dirty and foul. Why would anybody do it if it wasn't for propagation of the species creeping up in our consciousness one way or the other? Or just for the downright, good old feeling. If it wasn't for the hormones, in other words. Yes, it is dirty. And if somebody actually ever gets to the point in their life, any of you get to the point in your life where you think, I don't want to do that because that's just foul. Or that's disgusting. Because maybe you're seeing it for what it really is. And then you suddenly get this idea that I don't even want to do that anymore in life. Or maybe you never really even thought about it like this before. Well, let me put it into perspective with respect to this immediate point. Yes, sex is sweaty. It is foul. It does smell. It is a matter of putting one pee hole next to another pee hole, or in a poop hole, or whatever, a mouth here and there. It does involve putting one's mouth about 2 inches away from where the shit comes out, and if it's been a sweaty day, it's all run together. That is true. It's absolutely true. And folks, that's sex. Just in case you were wondering, that is sex, okay? So, if you feel a little queasy about any of that, get over it. I mean, if you want to engage in sex, that's what you're engaging in. Alright? It's not called the wild thing for nothing. It really hasn't changed much for, I don't know how long, 100,000 years? Who knows how long? I don't know how long. Well, how long has sex been happening? Not just among humans, but, just period. Among, living critters. In the copulation sort of way of sex. Pretty long time, and it hasn't changed much. It has evolved, if we want to talk about evolving, as in, let's say there is an actual evolution of methods of sexual reproduction from, cell division to copulation. Well, yeah, there has been change in that way, but look, copulation itself has not really changed much. Alright? I mean, it has changed a little bit. It's different, but the principles are still the same. Let's say there were actually cavemen. Alright? And they, the male looks out of his cave. Female. Oh, a cluster of females that look like my species. Hair on the back. Yep, there we go. Mammaries. I feel like copulating. That one arouses me. Why, look at her haunches. Alright? Now, let's say it's also true that there was really only one good way to get her back into the cave and, get some. Plant some seeds. Alright? Let's say the only good way to do that is pick up a club and go over there and sneak up behind her. And then maybe make some kind of noise so she actually knows you're there so that she has a fair chance to run. But then you club her. You whack her. And she might be a little heavy because she just ate part of an elephant or a mammoth, a woolly mammoth or something. So it might be a little heavy to actually pick up and carry because, hey, it could be 500 feet back to the cave. It could be a mile. So, you grab her by the hair and you drag her back. You club her. right? You knock her out, and then you drag her back, and you have your way. All right. You plant the seed, man. You just plant the seeds here. Just plant the seeds. No big deal. Okay, so is it different today? It's different, but in principle, it's the same damn thing. For a lot of people, they go out to the club. And they buy women drinks, rendering them only partially conscious. I mean, this is kind of the equivalent to the old version of it, club, loss of consciousness, and then drag off somewhere by some kind of persuasion or coercion or hair, dragging, and then have one's way, right? Not a hell of a lot has changed. It's just different venue. Clubbing, going out clubbing. I can just hear a caveman saying to his buddy, look over there. There's a herd of women. I'm going clubbing. Let's go clubbing. It's still the wild thing. It's still disgusting. It still involves some kind of taking control of the situation. And also, the human race still propagates. It always has propagated. So somehow this all works, doesn't it? So bitching and moaning and feeling shy about it and all of that is just kind of like a waste of energy. And feeling like it's an absolute necessity or one will die or become severely depressed or will have a shortened lifespan, that's baloney. If you're going to do it, do it. And go about it like you want to. Unless somebody says, halt. And there are only a couple of good reasons for anybody to ever say, stop, halt, this is not working for me. Once again, those are, if disease is about to be spread and one has that fear to the point of incapacitation, all right, just good sense about hygiene and health, or physical injury is imminent, or a complete infraction on a person's moral code to the point where they're going to have to go to confession 30 times over one little blowjob. Okay, other than those types of things, there's no reason to complain, bitch, moan, cry, or give bad reports about the other person the next day around town. But what if you want to do this because you're in love? Isn't there an added element? Yeah, there is. All of this feels a little better when you actually have emotional connection with the person. As a matter of fact, it's all kind of geared up like that because for most people, even having sex, especially copulative intercourse, all right, penetration of the penis into the other person's body down in one of the lower parts, not so much with the mouth, but with the mouth too, really, because that is a kind of like a sacrificial act. Giving up the sovereignty of one's mouth, I mean, you wouldn't put a can of earthworms in your mouth, but you would put this piss hole in your mouth. All that aside, yeah, if you have an emotional connection going on with the person, it all just seems to go a little better. It feels better. I mean, it's more intimate. Okay, fine. It's a physically intimate act. If there's also some emotional intimacy, well, then there's a greater harmony of parts of one's being involved. And it is also the case, as I was just about to say, and now will say, even the physical act itself does tend to create an emotional connection, at least temporarily. It's set up to do that. Because why? Because really, it's a natural thing to do. It's natural because it propagates the species. That's why it's a natural thing to do, folks. Let's not kid ourselves. That's the only reason. So, if the physical act is engaged in, there should be some kind of an emotional connection that arises during it, because nature intends those two people to stay together. Because pregnancy might happen. It is also true that for males, more so than females, but not exclusively, we all have some male and female in us, it's just a matter of which is predominant. And in large, males are predominantly male and females are predominantly female, but there's a little element of both, because look, if you believe in reincarnation, then here's the explanation for that. In part, anyway, a partial explanation. We've all been male and female in the past. So we know what it's like. We've been there, done that. We have the point of view. We have some of the body chemistry of the other gender. All of us. All right? Because we're all human first, male and female second. Okay? Male and female is a subcategory of human with respect to humanity. Right? I mean, there's the cosmic principle of gender, the positive and the negative pole, the masculine and the feminine aspect. Okay, yes, and humanity falls under that. Okay, sure. But within just the scope of humanity itself, we are human first, male and female second. So, all humans have some emotional, past incarnation, metabolic traits of both, okay? All right, so anyway, where was I going with this? Darn it. I can't remember now. Shucks. Male or female. Oh, yeah. When it comes to men, the masculine side, whether we're talking about a woman or a man, predominantly men, okay, there is this tendency to feel like fucking a lot. Different people. Well, this is kind of like a natural thing to do at one level. It is part of the nature of the thing, because propagation of the species will happen better that way. If many women get impregnated by a single man, well, then there are more babies. The probability of more babies. I mean, maybe one of the women is barren. I don't mean she's a baroness. I mean she's just barren. Okay? So, so there is this male, it's a male characteristic. I'm not saying it's exclusive to men, but it is a masculine-like characteristic, wherever it occurs, to spread sperm across a significant portion of the population. Okay. And the dominant males typically get to do that more because they are dominant. And dominant traits pass on sexually because of sexual selection, sexual election, sexual predilection, sexual selection, sexual seminization. All right. And with females, there is a tendency, it is a feminine type characteristic to receive that and then settle down and have a baby with it. Put it to good use. That's just physiological function. And some women complain about men, oh, he just wants to fuck everybody. Well, get over it. Of course he does. Now here's one more thing. Two more things that I can think of that I want to discuss. Here's another source of complaint from people. Males and females, both. Men and women, both. Women don't want to give it up. Women just don't want to put out. She won't put out. For God's sakes, what's wrong with her? I want her to... I went out with her and she wouldn't put out. I want her to put out. What the fuck am I going out with her for if it's not to get laid? Jesus, doesn't she know that? Don't all women know that? And then you got the women over there. All the guys ask me out, but all they want to do is fuck me. Oh my God, it's horrible. Oh, they're such pigs. Don't they get it? Don't they understand? I have my needs. I have my emotional needs. All he sees me for is as a sexual object. Doesn't he want my mind? Well, listen. When a guy sees a woman, right, looks out of his cave, he's going clubbing. Going out clubbing. And he sees a woman over there. Female. Looks human. What's going through his mind? Oh, she has a beautiful mind. Is that it? Oh, what a warm-hearted person. Is that it? Is that what he sees with his eyes? Is that what's getting his hormones all going on front and freaky in his body? Is that what's giving him a little bit of lift in his genes? Her mind, which he knows nothing about and can't see? I don't think so. It's those body parts that are sticking out all over, that are designed to attract his attention sexually. What the hell else are they for? Well, if not for making room for a baby to pass down between, the thighs that look freaking good. Well, no wonder they look good. It's all built that way. For the whole thing to work. Which really, once again, boils down to what? Propagation of the species, having babies. So, yeah, damn right that looks good. But it's not her mind that looks good. So, women, get past this idea that it's just nasty and brutal and selfish and greedy and just all fucking sex. If a guy asks you out and he wants to get in your freaking pants. That's what he's there for, most likely. Of course, there's also, get a girlfriend, have a family, have somebody to help with the finances, all these other reasons to get together and have a mate in life. But it starts with sex in a guy's mind most of the time, because most men are predominantly composed of masculine traits, masculine metabolism, masculine chemistry, the masculine point of view about the whole darn thing. So, yeah, if you look half decent, or even if you don't, and you're a female, and 9 guys out of 10 just want to get in your pants, and that's why they're approaching you and talking to you, don't get upset. It means it's working the way it should. And if you have a little problem with that, you're having a problem with reality. Alright? And then there's the other point of view, the other side of the coin, alright? Guys, they approach women, they want to go out with them, they want to get some laid. Alright? And the women just won't put out, they want to talk, they want to, you got to get through their mind first, and then the complaint is, God, why is it so damn hard to just get fucking laid, I mean, with the exception of the ones that don't consider giving a blowjob sex, and they'll do that, Hey, you want to give me a blowjob? Sure. And then during the blowjob, more things might happen. Right? With the exception of the non-sex thing, or whatever. A complaint that some guys have is that, women, you gotta get this emotional connection. They want you to, they want to feel like you like their mind. They want something emotional out of it, Even though, yes, I'm not saying women don't like sex. Whether they don't go out to just get laid either. But there is a little bit of a difference in general, is what I'm saying. Guys come at the whole relationship thing or the going out clubbing thing with sex predominantly on their mind. The rest isn't. Not right then. Okay? The sex comes first. Generally speaking. For the women, in general, in life, most women, most of the time, in most cases, in most situations, the sex is not exactly the priority thing when getting involved in conversations with men already. All right? Why? And what can we do about it? There's a good reason for this. There are the social reasons, there are the propagation of the species reasons, the sociological factors, the psychological factors, but here's one that most people don't know. One of the reasons why there are certain psychological factors and emotional factors that lean in these directions that I'm talking about have to do with, well, as with most things, if you're interested in self-mastery, personal involvement, esoteric knowledge, the occult side of affairs, here it is. It has to do with people's electromagnetic fields and their flows of energy at a subtle level, at the occult level of understanding, and not all that damn occult anyway, not these days. It has to do with chakras. Our subtle energy focal points that constitute the layers of our bodies. The physical body, the energy body, the astral body, and so on. All right? All of these things connect, right? Okay, so look, watch. Let's see if I can do this. No, can't get this. Maybe hang on. All right, get this moved a little bit. Okay, look. I'm asking you to look. All right, down here, right there, at the base of the torso. With me, just behind my balls in front of my asshole, there is the base, the root chakra. Now, there are more chakras that go further down in the earth. And there are ones that go up over my head, too. But there are the 7 main ones that are associated with the physical body in space. All right? The root chakra is right down there at the base of the torso. The next one up has to do with, it's right at the position of the men's genitals. It's right, well, I moved the thing, but it's right there, right around the area of the testicles. That's the next one. Men's primary sexual organs, the primary place in the sexual organ location of the physical body where sexual energy is located, is at the second chakra. With women, the primary sexually active, sexually functioning propagation of the species organ is the ovaries. That's at the level of the next chakra up, the third one. With men, it's the second one. With women, it's the third. And our ways of thinking about this whole thing here, our ways of feeling about it, our ways of going about it physically, and so on, are intimately tied in with these chakras. Why wouldn't they be tied in intimately, integrally with those chakras? This is how it works, folks. This is how we're built. The second chakra is more physically, just sexual drive oriented than is the third one. The third one has added elements involved. It's a little higher up in the scale. It has emotionality involved, more so than does the second chakra. This is why women's sexuality is not quite in a direct line or the same as is men's. This is the primary, the basic, not the only explanation, but the fundamental explanation at the let's say the more occult level, but still within the, talking about within just the human microcosmic picture of it. This is why there is this little bit of discrepancy. And this is part of how it works and how in the world propagation of the species has been a continuous thing all along. So the difference in the two approaches, the male approach to it and the female approach to it, if it's a source of complaint and disgruntlement in your life, get over it. You're not understanding how this shit works. If this is a source of despair for you, oh, they just don't want to get in my pants, or they just won't put out, whatever. Come on, man. Understand how this shit works. Men are going at it, in large, from the second chakra level of going about it, which is pretty much just fuck, fuck, fuck. All right? And the women are going at it from a slightly higher perspective, like, fuck with some emotion here, like my mind too, okay? You got to go through my head to get into my pants, and the guy's thinking, well, you want to get into my head, you got to go through my balls, okay? All right, or maybe shove some food down my throat. Feed me too. Well, this is why. It has to do with the chakras involved, the primary chakras involved. Okay, maybe that'll clear some things up for you. It is the wild thing, folks. Accept it. If you're going to get involved with it, and you're going to do it for the purposes of fun and entertainment or whatever other purpose, you need to understand some of the basic functions of it, the ways that it works. It is a mutually experienced selfish thing to do, and it is foul and disgusting. And we do it because of the hormones and because of the drive to propagate the species. And if you want to vulgarize it and just do it for fun, well, then at least understand how in the world it works and why it's happening the way it's happening and what makes it work best. If you're going to go out and just do it for fun, then learn how to have fun with it. All right? Learn how to do that. I'll start off with understanding how the hell it is. The way it is, why it's the way it is, and that is the way it is. All right? Okay, but now, if you want to go about all of this in such a manner that it does not keep you tied to lower chakra living, thinking, being, and reincarnating, you want to actually have sex in your spiritual evolution. That's not just some kind of like phony idea of spiritual evolvement or personal evolution in life. Like actually move up the scale in your own sojourn in the cosmos. In other words, get beyond the draw to this planet or any other planet's physical plane where sex can actually happen as a physical act. You want to move beyond that. Then you need to spiritually evolve beyond this base level of operation that I've been talking about all along here. But you want to continue to have sex. Maybe you have a mate and you want to personally evolve with that mate and you don't want to give up sex for it. Although you now do understand that you don't even have to have sex. You can move beyond it all by yourself. But you want to move beyond it with a partner, with a life mate with whom you are having sex. Okay. This is a different story now. And you don't have to give up any of what I just said. You now need to understand added dimensions to it. You go at it with a thorough understanding of exactly what it is and how it works, and also that it's part of the whole cosmic process of creation being instantiated in the human sex act to propagate this species. All right? It not only happens with all the animals and the birds, and the bees, but it happens with the flowers and the trees. It happens with minerals. It happens with the plants. It happens in the mineral kingdom. It happens at the at the solar system level. It happens at the galaxy level. It happens at the universal level. It happens at the cosmic level. Right all the way to yin and yang itself. To the positive and negative poles that express as genders, the masculine principle and the female principle as simple principles in themselves. It's happening. So if you want to climb the ladder of consciousness expansion and consciousness evolvement with sex as part of it, with a mate, and you're both on the same page with this, then there are other ways to go about this. The primary way is going about it with this goal and with all of this understanding in mind as you're doing it. And that your relations with that individual, whether it's between the sheets or out driving in a car or going shopping, all are practice for the ultimate relationship. That is the relationship that you have with your sense of identity and your true self, and your true self with the cosmic being. Or if you want to put it in more religious terms, your relationship with the divine. And there are ways to go about the sex act that promote this transmutation of consciousness. Such things as learning to retain the release of the body fluids as long as possible, to refrain from it, to hold off coming if you're the man for as long as possible. Moments of meditation in that holding, learning to do it comfortably, learning to raise one's kundalini, if you will, during the sex act. There are specific techniques for doing this. But largely, it boils down to your attitude. Not forgetting what sex in itself as the raw, wild thing actually is and how it works. And the chakras involved. But it is possible to go about all of this while raising your consciousness up through the other chakras too. Celibacy is not a requirement for personal and spiritual evolution, but one must go about this in a totally different way. And it can even still be done as an act outside of just the desire or the attempt to create pregnancy. But if you really want to take it all the way, then both of you may agree that in large, you're not going to have sex unless it's to have children. And when you do have it, you go about it in these special manners that are not really the subject here. I did want to bring this up, though. All right, that's the end of my speech on sex. And once again, I've gone on for 34 minutes now, so we have an almost 45-minute video. That was video number 1 up until somebody knocked at my back door, but there was nobody there. That's not figurative speech. I'm talking about my actual physical back door here in my house. And now we have a nearly 35-minute one, being number 2 in this 2-video series, or sequence, on this Act Now channel about sex. This 2 videos, anyway. My channel, Act Now, is about personal evolvement, self-mastery, understanding things to be the way they are, as much as possible, having an esoteric understanding, and perhaps a little bit of sanity in this world in which sanity, true sanity, from the personal involvement point of view, is a rare commodity. Be well, maximize your performance, evolve your life.